Hi, this video is on one of the things that we can do as we're planning going forward to try and make our content more offline, I guess is the best way to put it. Now, many of us have content on our Moodle pages that we want students to read, to go to watch, and I, like many of you, do the same thing and have all kinds of things posted on my page. What I started doing several years ago is cleaning up the content, so the only thing really on my page are the activities. So this is all of chapter 1. And as you can tell from the icons on the side, all of them are activities other than one, which is where I have all my content. And all my content I have slowly moved into a Moodle book. Now, in order to have access to the Moodle book, you have to have completed your level 1 certification. So if you decide to try this, I suggest, and I think you should do it anyway, completing your level 1 Moodle certification and getting your level 1 teacher badge. Let me show you what the advantage of the book is. So I have over time taken and all those articles that, for instance, this one down here that the students used to read, I have harvested from the web and put into my Moodle book so that everything is in this one location. So as far as chapter 1, which is an introduction to a PC, there are all these chapters in my book here that all may be separate YouTube videos or websites that I've taken and copied, and I do make sure I give them credit. I've gone and made a works cited to the end of the chapter, so every time I take something from someone else, I make sure I add it to the works cited so that I'm not plagiarizing and showing, modeling the right thing with my students. But anyway, so I've taken all those things, and one of the advantages of doing that, if you've been using Moodle for a while and linking to other websites, they frequently go away when we're in the middle of using them, right? I'm linking to a website, and then the website person takes it down, and then I can't use that website anymore. So by doing this, you bring it into your own, and it gives you the ability to change the reading level, to edit it, to streamline it, so you don't have to give them the whole thing. But all my content for this chapter is here, and if a student doesn't have internet access, one of the things they can do with this is they can go down here where it says print this book. They can click on that, and it turns the whole thing into an interactive PDF so that all the pictures, all the text, everything is there. If I say read chapter 1 and they've saved this PDF or section on the motherboard, if they click there, they go right to the section on the motherboard. So all those things I've already done and put together, they then can just click one thing, open the chapter, and then save it to their hard drive to be able to access it home. Likewise, if I've got a student who's at home, I could email this PDF to them because maybe they've got a phone that they've got internet access but don't have the adequate bandwidth to do full interactive stuff. The one thing you can see is that all my videos are broken up into sections inside of here, and then what happens to the student that doesn't have access and wants to be able to watch those videos. At the end down here, I've got my all the information. Then I post my chapter notes from Smart Notebook, and then I've got a link to my videos. So if they were somebody who didn't have access to the videos, they could click right there and then download those videos, which are much smaller in file size than they originally were because Google has gone and resized them. They could go and then download this whole chapter if they wanted to their PC and have access to all the videos at home as well. So the book allows them, first of all, allows you to be a little more organized with all your content and keep it for each section in one place. And it allows them to kind of check out the content, save it in one place. And honestly, one of the things I do in my tests is I challenge them on my test. If there's anything that's not covered in the book, whether it's in a video or the text of the book. If you put it in there, you'll get credit for that question. And I've done that so I kind of catch myself if there's something I forgot to go over that I tested them on. They are more than ready to try to find something that will give them extra credit. And by the way, it makes them rewatch the videos as well. So that's the Moodle book. It's really, really simple to add. I'm going to go through the steps of adding a Moodle book really quickly. Okay, so I'm back on my class as a level 1 teacher. If you already know how to do this, you don't need to watch. The video is over. But if you haven't done it before, so I'm a level 1 teacher. I'm going to turn editing on, which I thought I already hit. There we go. And I'm just going to add an activity here. I'm going to throw it all the way up top because I'm going to delete it later. And these are the activities that once you completed your level 1 training, you'll see these additional activities and resources show up. I'm going to add a book and click add. This name is the name that they see on the website. So I'm going to say okay, so it's my introduction to hardware class. I'm going to go ahead and expand all and kind of show you the format of the chapters by default. Numbers, you can make it bulleted or indented. I'm going to leave it numbers because it's easier for me to tell the kids it's numbers. I have activity completion on in my class. I'm going to say that it's complete when they viewed it, just in case I want to make something happen when they've done that. And I'm going to hit save and display. So the first chapter, okay, class rules. And let's say I post that all in there, and that adds it as number 1. So I can say, hey, read number 1 of the introduction to hardware class. If I add a second one, now class. I don't have anything like this in my thing. I can say class punishments, and I can make it a subchapter of the class rules. Consequences in hardware. Consequences sounds better, doesn't it? Oh, okay, so I could add that in there if I wanted to, and you can see it's now a subchapter of this. And if a student wanted to print this out, they will see, they can't see all this, but they can see the print the book at any time. Print the chapter just means the one I'm looking at. Print the book means the whole thing, and I would have them check out and take the whole thing. I do want to talk for just a second on harvesting other people's websites and the best way, in my opinion, to do that. I'm going to go ahead and add another one. Example site. I'm not going to make it a subchapter. Okay, so I'm going to pretend that I love this website. And if I was to go and try to copy this, it would be a mess because it's got ads, all kinds of extra junk that I don't want. Obviously, this is a terrible way for students to read stuff. So I want to turn it into just the text from this page. And the reason I'm on Firefox, and I know that Chrome probably has something that does the same thing, but I've used it in Firefox forever. It has this little button right here, and as soon as I push it, boom, it's just the text and none of the ads. So I can go do an Control A to select all and a Control C to copy. I can go back over here and I can paste that into my thing, and now I've got a very readable with no ads. It does still have links to outside places, so if they clicked on those, it would take them that other place, and maybe you want to delete those links. That's up to you. But to me, this is the best way to copy other websites. I would immediately go to EasyBib and add this to a works cited at the end, so I'm not plagiarizing their stuff. But when I'm going and using other people's websites, I don't want all that junk. Again, all I do is go to it in Firefox and hit this little button to the right of the address up here, which turns it to Reader View in Firefox, takes out all the junk, and allows me to just copy nicely something and put it into my Moodle site for my students to be able to read. And there's obviously other websites you can go to. that we've talked about before that will change the reading level of it too, and change the words and such, so that they're easier to understand. And that's not the subject of this video, but that's how and why I use a Moodle book. It's something to think about as we move forward, that we need a way for students to be able to get to our content offline from home, to not use the same level of internet access that they have in the past. And it's just, to me, the best way to do that. Obviously, when they go to hardware, they can't do the activities, right? All those activities that I have in there as well are not accessible anymore. But that doesn't mean I can't make them accessible in another way. If I was, let me switch to a clean view here so that you don't see all the junk in my class. In my chapter 1 section, all these activities and things here that they might be doing. First of all, if we're doing the rotation, I'm going to try to do the activities at school, so they do the reading and the viewing of those videos at home, flipping my classroom a little bit. But also, those same activities, I could easily print out and email them that chapter 1 skirmish as a PDF file and say, hey, bring this back to class with you on Friday or whenever we're meeting, so that they can still have that done. Yes, it will require me to manually enter a grade and stuff for them, but those activities that I've got set up, many of them we could do a different way, but the content that I've got is what I really want to make sure that they can get to. So hopefully that gives you an idea of some things that you can be looking at over the summer, maybe some minor changes to your class to make some of those things a little easier for students to have access to.